Chapter 1. Discovery. The story of Eragon begins on a cold winter night in the Spine Mountains, a place feared by the inhabitants of the Palancar region due to its dark tales and hidden dangers. These mountains are shrouded in mystery, known for being associated with strange events and misfortunes. But Eragon, a 15-year-old with an adventurous and curious spirit, is there, driven by the need to provide for his family. He is an orphan, raised by his uncle Garrow, who takes care of him and his cousin Roran on a secluded farm. Despite the Spine's reputation, Eragon frequents it regularly in search of game, being one of its few visitors. He has always relied on his courage and skill to survive in the dense and treacherous forests, where others prefer not to tread. On this particular night, Eragon is tracking a deer through the woods. He moves skillfully, keeping his steps silent and his eyes alert, despite the cold that chills him to the bone. His hopes rise as he nears his prey, a large, well-fed deer that would be enough to feed his family during the harsh winter months ahead. However, before he can shoot his arrow, something incredible happens. Suddenly, a violent explosion reverberates through the valley. The deafening sound echoes off the mountains, and a wave of heat followed by thick smoke fills the air, scattering the game and startling Eragon. The explosion was unnatural. As the smoke begins to dissipate, he walks cautiously toward the source of the sound, curious yet alert. There, among the trees and the vegetation devastated by the explosion, he comes across a peculiar and fascinating object, a polished blue stone, completely smooth and perfectly spherical, lying on the ground among the debris. Eragon observes it with fascination and caution. It glows softly in the moonlight and seems almost alive in its perfection. He picks it up carefully, noting its surprising weight and cold texture, unlike anything he has ever seen before. The stone has no visible marks or imperfections, and Eragon wonders how something so beautiful and strange could have suddenly appeared there, in the middle of a hunt. He thinks about taking it back to Carvahall, the nearest village, where he might be able to trade it for meat or supplies. With winter approaching, he knows that any extra resource would be a great help to his family. As he walks back home, Eragon's mind begins to wander. He thinks about the stories he has heard about the Spine. Tales of spirits and ancient creatures that still haunt the forest, legends that make the villagers fear the place. Despite this, Eragon has always felt that the mountains were safe for him. Unlike other youths from Carvahall who avoided the Spine, Eragon felt connected to it in some way, as if the forest were his ally, a place where he could find peace and solitude. Upon arriving at the farm, Eragon is greeted by Garrow, his uncle, who is a stern yet fair man. He works tirelessly and expects Eragon and Roran to do the same. Garrow has the features of a man who has lived a hard life full of sacrifices, and despite his severity, Eragon knows he cares deeply for the family. That night, when Eragon shows the stone to Garrow, his uncle becomes suspicious. He inspects the stone with a critical eye, as if sensing that something about it is amiss. However, Garrow decides it is best to keep it and see what they might get in exchange when they go to the village. Perhaps, with a bit of luck, they could sell it to a trader for food or money. In the following days, Eragon takes the stone to Carvahall, hoping to trade it for supplies, especially meat, since hunting has been scarce. He heads directly to the village butcher, Sloan, a man known for his bad temper and disdain for Eragon and his family. Eragon, although reluctant, knows that Sloan is his best chance of getting something useful. When he presents the stone to Sloan, the butcher immediately reacts with distrust. Upon discovering that the stone came from the Spine, Sloan refuses to have anything to do with it. The mere mention of the cursed mountains makes him recoil, and he won't even touch the stone. The interaction quickly turns hostile. Sloan, like many others in Carvahall, harbors a deep-seated aversion to the Spine and everything it represents. He refuses to negotiate with Eragon and humiliates him in front of the customers. Frustration and anger swell within Eragon, who feels powerless. He just wanted to help his family, and now he was being treated like a pariah. Fortunately, Horst, the village blacksmith and a man greatly respected by all, intervenes. He is a gentle giant, known for his physical strength and generous character. Horst sees the situation and decides to help Eragon by buying meat from Sloan on his own account. He hands the meat to Eragon without expecting anything in return, just a reassuring smile and a few words of encouragement. Horst's kindness alleviates the tension in Eragon's heart, and he feels grateful for the gesture. Despite the humiliation he suffered, At least he wouldn't return home empty-handed. With the meat purchased by Horst and the stone still in his possession, Eragon returns to his family's farm. He reflects on what happened in the village, still intrigued by the blue stone, although frustrated that he couldn't sell it. He feels there is something deeper about that mysterious object, something he doesn't yet understand. Looking up at the starry sky, Eragon has no idea that his life is about to change irreversibly, for that stone was no ordinary stone. His destiny was about to intertwine with something far greater than he could ever imagine.
On a cold night in the Spine Mountains, a young man named Eragon, with courage and grace, he goes to hunt a deer to feed his family, with a brave heart ready to face the fray. Eragon, Eragon, the young adventurer in the shadowy forest. He's a true hero with the magic stone. His journey will begin in the city of mysteries. He'll be in for a show. A strange explosion, a mystery in the air. Among trees and shadows, he'll start to investigate a bluish stone glowing in the moonlight. With a touch of magic, he'll stop to admire. Eragon, Eragon, the young adventurer in the shadowy forest. He's a true hero with a magic stone. His journey will begin in the city of mysteries. He'll be in for a show. But in the village, the people are afraid of the cursed mountain, a great secret laid. But Eragon is strong, and he will fight. With dreams in his mind, he won't lose sight. Sloan doesn't believe, but Horst comes to help. With a gesture of kindness, he makes the fear melt. Returning home under the starry sky, Eragon doesn't know what's waiting nearby. Eragon, Eragon, the young adventurer in the shadowy forest. He's a true hero with the magic stone. His journey will begin in the city of mysteries. He'll be in for a show. Oh, life is an adventure, full of emotion, with friends by your side and a big heart's devotion. Eragon will discover that his destiny is to shine in the land of dragons. He will triumph in time.